So the next part now is reduction. Now I'm not going to go through another 3x3 solve to see if the parity is fixed. Assume that it's fixed. Have the faith that it is. So here's what we're going to do. Again, find a place where you have all the edges up. And what you're looking for is you're looking for a pair of an inner edge. This is now an inner edge, not a center, or outer center rather. An inner edge with an outer edge of the same color. If you don't see that, that's okay. We can move some in the way that we're talking about. What we're going to do is we're going to find its reciprocal yellow color on the bottom side here, which is right over here. What the overall technique that you're going to be doing is you're going to be moving it in to here, moving it over to here, exchanging it, and moving another one in and moving it back. This is a lot like that swinging U technique where you do an R move, swing the U around, do an L move, swing the U back, do another R move. It's a way of reducing things on this layer without destroying anything anywhere else. So this is going to be in this position over here. If I turn this over here to this position, and I were to go like this, you can see that this is now reduced. So the next step, after you're going to do that, after you've positioned it, I'm going to do my 2R, then I'm going to swing this all the way to the side. Now notice when I did that, I took one of these corners out, and that's how you know that you're doing this in the right position, but we're going to put it back in, so don't worry about it. So we're going to knock this little corner area of the center out, bring this in here, so we're here. Now I'm going to make sure that this comes at right angles down to here. So now I'm going to do a U move, I guess that's a 2U, so to speak, so that it's right at the side here, and then bring it down, kersplat. Now I've got to undo what I did, and remember that this is the corner that was taken out. I know that because these corners are in, this is the odd one out, so I'm going to simply move this back. If you don't remember how far to turn it, it's as far as you need to go to place the one corner part of the center that's out, and then turn it, and then that's back in. What I'm then going to do is turn this back around here in the normal position, and move this back up, so now this is reduced. This is taken out of its cube position yet again, but that's okay. We don't have to worry about that. Why don't we do this one? So I'm going to put this over here. Where's an orange one? How about this? Now there's different positions you're going to have to put it in. If I move this over here, and I double turn, you can see that this is on this side. So what I have to actually do to make this work is, well, I can still keep it here, but now this has to move one click this way. That puts me in a little bit of danger because now this is skewed. You can do that, especially early on. You just have to remember to move it back. So now I'm going to remember it over here. Go 2R, so now this is in. Bring this to the side, swing it to the L position, do a 2L. Now swing it back to the R position, remembering to put it in so that it lines up with these guys, and move this over here. Now this is where you have to remember to turn it back again and move this, because this has to go to its proper place here. Remember we skewed that one too, and turn it back here. So now this is in, and remember to turn this back in its proper place. So we just keep doing that. Keep doing that like crazy. Now you don't see any that's lined up with the center. That's actually okay. Let's see if there's any, like this green one is lined up with the center. So let's move that back down here. Now notice I'm returning all of these here back to the top. And that's because I don't have to get it out of the way from the bottom. I want them either on the top or in the middle, or not over here, just at 180 degrees of where I'm working over here. We'll get more into that in a bit. So blue, where's the blue? I don't have a blue one here, so I'm going to move this one down. Splat. So I'm going to move this into here. Now I'll have to move this down this way in order to bring this in position. So you just have to swing this in a particular place, either here or here. But this is now simple. This moves in. I'm going to swing this all the way to the side here. Do a 2L. Swing it exactly back where it was before. Don't worry if you think you might get lost. Just coordinate it with the other edges here. Turn this here. Swing it back. And turn this back. And that's okay. So let's do another one. Now that these are in over here, we see a red one. So I'm going to bring this one up. And I'm going to place, find a red one down here. I've got 2 to choose from. So I'm going to move this over here. 2R. I've got this in position. Swing this around here. Turn this over here. Bring this back. Swing this over here. And turn it in. So this, and this is in. I'm building them all up here or here and trying to stay away from the bottom as much as I can. Here's a blue. You can try for this one. And blue over here. So how am I going to line this up with this guy here? How about we move this up like so? Double turn. And as long as I do this right, I'm not going to mess any one up from the top, because whatever I take out, I'm going to be putting right back in again. Turn here, here, and here. So all these are fine now. So what else? Well, I've got this orange over here, so why don't I start moving these guys in? I'm going to move this up here. So I've got orange. I don't have any oranges over here, so let's find a loose leaf orange, which is right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to here. Now this is good because I can take this and move this down to the middle and move this down like so. So now I'm in a position or I can try to make one work over here. So this orange will come up like this. Now notice what's going to happen with this red. Nothing. Turn this here, double turn, knock it out of the way. Bring it back. Now don't be confused, it's this one, even though it seems like it's in place, this one wasn't the original green. And move this back. So this green is back and this red is back. Move this like so, and bring this in. So now these are all fine. Anything else? How about on the bottom here? Nope, 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 nope. Okay, so I'm gonna have to start placing centers. What I want to do is I'm gonna want to bring this up and at the same time bring this down. But I'm gonna see if I can keep the ones that are solved already in the middle. So I'm going to take this and bring this down like so. Okay. So what I have is I have a white center. So I'm going to find a white edge, which is here. Could be any one. So this white over here. I'm going to move this into position here. So I have to sort of assemble it from the beginning here. Move this, whoop, that doesn't belong like that. Okay, so to move this in here, what I need to do is I need to move this off center as well. I just have to remember to move it back. So double turn, this is in place over here. Swing it all the way around here so that it's lined up at the end. Double turn here, swing it back to where it was before to get this green one back in, turn it in, which places this back, move this back over here, and turn it in. So now you can see I've got more of the white, and now I want to place the other white. Do I see it here? I don't. What I have to remember though, because I turned this off, I have to turn it like that. So now this is properly oriented. So I'm looking for the other white. I don't see any other whites here, so I've got this. I'll just simply move this down like so. And now I'm going to move this into position here, and I have 2 whites to choose from. I'll just choose the simplest one. Move this to the side or move it down. Move it in, splat. We got that here. Turn this to the side, turn, move this back here, turn, bring this back over here, and turn. So this is a fairly fast moving part until we get to the last 2 edges, which again won't be a problem. So I've got a whole bunch here that need to be placed that aren't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this, bring this down here. Okay, I want to put a green one in here. Now the thing about a solved one on the bottom is I need to make sure it's not 180 degrees because I'm going to take that out. And just kind of be aware of how you're positioning things. So here's a green, and I've got green over here. Now again, this is improperly placed. Unless I use this one, then that won't matter. So to put the green one here, move this off to the side, double turn, we're in, move it all the way over here, double turn, bring it back, double turn, bring this back over here, and splat. So now I've got this green ready to go. So there's another green, I think, which is here or here. So I can choose two, and I didn't touch this one over here. So I'm going to move this into position, and this will come over here. So it would appear that I can double turn this over here, and this will be fine. But here's the problem. This is 180 degrees, so we don't want that there. I want to move this to here. I could just do it quickly by doing an edge swap. To our U, to our U, to our, to U, to our, to U, to our U, to our UI, to R. So it's just application of a known algorithm to get this where we want it. So now that we've done that, we find our position here again. And here's the green. Move this into here. That way it's not going to hit this guy here. So move this in. We're good. Turn here. And notice we didn't touch this. Move this back. Move the green one in. Move this back. Move this in. And our green is fine. So we keep following suit. What else we've got? Well, anything else on the bottom, I'd like to be able to substitute this for something. So let's move this up, and we need to do this one also. So I'm going to take this and move this up to here. It did bring this one down, but I swapped it out with this, so it doesn't really matter. So I've got a green, I've got to find the green one here. Here's a green one. However, this is 180 degrees from that, so that's not going to work. So why don't I just go like this? So now I have none that are in down here, and they're all over here. Okay, so green, I'm completely free to do any green that I want. Just this one. Move it in, so that's lined up. Turn it to the side, double turn. Now if you lose your perspective and mess up, don't worry. That's happened to me many times. It's hard to keep in mind all these tiny little pieces. Turn, that's okay there. Now I want to fill in the next half over here. I got a nice green one here that can do that. So that's going to come over to here, double turn, and oh, wrong place. So when that happens, I actually have to skew this over here. I just got to remember to move this blue back when I'm done. And I don't have anyone else in, so I'm not in danger of putting anything out. Double turn here, we're good. Turn this, double turn this back, double turn. And now it's important, especially in this case, to bring this back over here, because now I need to turn this back. Okay, I've got a red one here. So why don't I do the red one next? I'll double turn this over here. Now where's the red? Right over here. Once again, I put this right across from it. Not too smart. And that almost popped on me. So I'm going to go like this. Move this here, turn, and here. That way it's not 180 degrees. Swing this into here. So now this red is going to line up with this. Now, I'm going to take this opportunity to let you know something that's going to happen. When I turn this over here, and I'm about to make my turn here, pay attention to the fact that it's a blue that's being taken out. This blue is going to return back and combine with whatever was over here. That's going to be important when I'm doing the last two. So here's the red. I'm going to put it in over here. Pow, so that's fine. Remember, it was a blue that was taken out. Double turn this over here. Get it out of the way. Double turn it back to get this back. And I'm going to move this in. And it's a blue that came back. So now I'm going to bring this over here and bring this back in. So now all these are in, and these are fine. This is in over here, so now I need to move another one in. So we'll do this. I need to move a blue one in here. it's going to be this. This is 180 degrees from the other one. We don't want that. So let's take this out. So what I'm going to do is just put this in this spot here by taking this out, turning it, and moving it in. That way nothing is across from it. Okay, I'm going to move this over here. Now I'm going to take this red out, move this blue in. Actually, I'm going to take this yellow out, move this blue in, bring it here, double turn, bring it back. Now remember, it was a yellow that I took out, and it's a yellow center that's here. Move this in, bring it back, and bring it in. Now inevitably it's going to happen that way. This blue is now ready to accept another blue, and that other blue is right over here. So what I'm going to do is move this down to here, move it in, up, it's not correct. Now this is where things can get a little shaky, because now I've got to move it like this. But to move it like that, I'm going to be starting to disrupt these guys over here, and that's going to become a little more difficult. So here's what we have to do. To get this into here, into this position, what's going to ultimately end up is I'm going to end up bringing this up, which is going to destroy this. And it's going to move it into here. So my thinking is this. This orange one is about to come over here and be destroyed. But it's a white one that I'm taking out. So what I need to do is, if I'm going to do this, I need this white to be in this position so that I'll be substituting a white for a white. So I'm going to have to swap these. I'm just going to do an adjacent edge swap, or opposite edge swap. And that's 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. So why did I do that? Well, here's why I did that. So this is still in this position here. And I'm going to go ahead and just do it. So this has to go over to here in this position. So I'm going to move this in, and this white is going to be taken out like so. Boom. So this is in. I'm now going to move this into this position. Now when I turn this, I'm going to separate this from its proper center. But watch what's going to happen. I double turn this. Now I want to get the green one back, so I'm going to turn this back over here. When I get this back, I'm simply going to exchange a white for a white, this white for this white. So that when I move it back here and bring this in, I move this white back to where it is over here. So I can turn this back, and I didn't disrupt any of these two over here. So that concept, that aspect is going to become very important as we do the last two. The last two are going to be reciprocals to each other. So how are we going to do that? Well, let's take this and move it over here, and let's kind of reason out what's going to happen. For this to occur, this is going to come over here, and this white wants to come over to here. So I'm going to turn this over here, double turn it, and that's going to look pretty good. But consider what's going to happen. When I do that, I'm going to be moving this one up and slicing down the center. So what's ultimately going to happen is when this comes here, it'll come over here, this red will come up, and to get this back in, I'm going to end up slicing this. So I want to protect this red one. The way to do that, what I'm going to have to do is bear in mind that to move this white to here, it's a yellow that I'm taking out. Because it's a yellow that I'm taking out, when I move that yellow back in, I want to put it with another yellow side. So the key here then is put a yellow one here. So long story short, when you're dealing with the last two, look at the colors. The color that you're putting in, which is the white, is, well, that's all you need to know. But the color that you're taking out, that has to combine with the same color that's on the opposite side. So yellow, white, because it's the white one that we're putting in and the yellow one that we're taking out. Put a yellow on this side here. So here's a yellow here. I'm just going to position it like so. Double turn and position this down. So that yellow needs to stay there. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to move this into position here. Double turn, so this white one is here, it's just fine. Double turn here. Move this back. Now this is a perfectly good yellow. Now when I move this here, because I have to move the green one in and I'm going to slice this down here, knowing that I'm exchanging a yellow for a yellow doesn't do anything at all. So I'm going to move this over here, bring it back, and you'll find magically this one is also placed. Which means that at this point, not only are the centers reduced, but all of these edges are reduced too, and the rest is just the these corner and edge components here. So what you're going to do now is you're going to do one final swapping of these guys. So looking at this, say here's a white one. I need to find a white edge, a white small edge here that can come into this place. It's not going to be this one. This one comes to the outside, not to the inside. This is what lines up with the center. So I'm going to find an edge piece that's in a corner position that has a little bit of white in it. And that's going to be this guy over here. Now this is actually in an edge position. So I'm going to move this up. Let's find one that has a little bit of green, which is this guy. So I'm going to move this down here. Let's keep our perspective about us. Basically, this green can come into here. It doesn't matter which one, as long as it's got a little bit of green here. So I'm going to move this to the side and do RI, DI, RD. Move this back, and for the first time, we have an entirely reduced edge. Move this over here. I need something with a little orange in it. Well, here's one with a little white. Here's one again with a little white. So we've got a bunch of whites here. How about this? Okay, this is upside down, so I might run into trouble with that. I'm just going to turn this over here. Okay, so this has to come into here. The fact that this is not upside down might be a little bit of a problem. Where does our white go? Right over here. Okay. We'll move this in. Okay, so it's going to be here. Line it up here. RI, DI, RD. So that works. Now remember, keep your perspective about you. It could be a little difficult. Red, a little bit of red here. So I'm going to move this in place. RI, DI. Not quite in. DIR, and this is in. So good, good. Now this guy. Why don't we get that out of the way there? How about something with a little red in it? Well, here's something with a little green in it, so I can do this one. RI, DI. So I'm being a little bit more specific on what's going to go where, but not completely specific. Doesn't really matter, and there's no issues that we're going to deal with false equivocation with that, so you don't have to worry about that. Here's something with the little yellow to match up with this guy here. Okay, so this is part of here. Now I could move this to the side, but the problem is I'm going to mess that up, so I can't. I have to exchange this with a corner piece if that's going to work. This with a corner piece. So alternatively, yeah, so what I'm going to do is just exchange this here with another edge piece or a corner piece. Move this here, RI, DI, RD. Okay, only did that to get this orange out. Over here. Okay, so here's an orange, a yellow rather. Okay, here's my yellow. Move this into position, RI, DI, and in we go. So that's good. How about an orange, an actual orange? Right over here. So I got an actual orange over here. Position this here, turn, turn, and now that edge is done. Here's a red. Here's a red over here. That's looking for a home. Line it up. And turn, 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 and up. So that's good. And let's see, here's an orange here, which will fit nicely right over here. turn, 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 keep going until it finds its way in correctly, and up and good. All right, here's a blue, which can fit with this. So why don't I take this out over here, and I'm just positioning things. Here's the blue here, turn, turn, and turn. Yellow to match with this yellow here. Again, more positioning. Yeah, this tried really hard to pop on me just now. It tried. Turn, turn, and turn. There we go. Okay, we're getting there. All we need to do is move this white one in. Turn this here, turn, 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 and boom. So now we have a completely reduced puzzle. So this is really just a 3x3. So we can see in terms of starting with the green, this is over here. And once again, a nice, slow beginner's method. Turn this here. Getting my cross. Turn, turn. And now getting my corners. Turn, turn, and turn. Now, having done this correctly, all of the parity should have been taken out. Should be no parity left in this puzzle. Turn, turn, turn. So it truly should just be a 3x3, which I'm solving just by beginner's method. But since you want to see the puzzle taken from start to finish, might as well do it. Getting the edges in. So really, with this puzzle, there's not a whole lot of new things. It's all just positioning and fairly straightforward reduction. The thing that's going to get you the most on this puzzle is perspective. Losing your perspective and you'll wonder what you did. Understand, you just made a mistake. There's nothing more complicated about the puzzle as long as you avoided the parity. Somehow you made a mistake with perspective. Here we've got the line F-R-U, R-I-U-I, F-I. Okay, bring this here, R-U, R-I-U, R to U, R-I. And having the faith that there should be no parity, this is in, this is not in, not in, and not in. So we're good. We've got turn, 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 turn. This is just the algorithm to permute the corners in. Therefore, these have to be in, and they are. They just have to be RIDIRD'd into submission, as it were. Turn. And then after this, we have taken what was a completely scrambled Octo star cube and turned it into, once again, a solved 3x3 looking puzzle. So there you have it. It's a fun solve. It seems kind of convoluted, but it's really pretty simple. Once you get the hang of the reduction that happens with edges, and once you can know how to swap these guys over here by just doing RIDIRD, becomes a very nice variation of the 3x3 motif, much like the mix-up cube over here. So once again, I say to all 6,000 of you, thanks for watching.